Senator from Oklahoma, Senator Inhofe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was not here during the opening statements of Mr. McLeod and Ms. Parnes, so I direct my questions. If you've already answered them, I want to hear it again. So, Ms. Parnes, the acting director, Maureen Ohausen, I guess it is, has prioritized connecting enforcement actions directly to concrete consumer injury. That's a novel idea. In your testimony, you note that the FTC has sought significant civil penalties even when violations are unintentional and injury to the consumers is minimal or non-existing. In fact, it seems that the FTC sometimes seeks the maximum possible without regard of the underlying facts and litigation. Do you believe that the consumer protection would be better served if the FTC aligned the penalties directly with the misconduct or harm? And I know your answer would be yes there, but then how do you do it?
So I do agree with that, Senator. I think there are, the FTC has the ability to obtain monetary relief in a number of situations. One is civil penalties. And the FTC Act very specifically says that a penalty needs to be related to injury, the degree of culpability, and the nature of the violation. But the Commission also has the authority to obtain equitable relief when it files actions in federal court or settles with companies, and those settlements are entered into by a court. So in that context, the Commission can obtain restitution or can disgorge ill-gotten gains. And so when the report talks about monetary relief, it really is talking about all three prongs: civil penalties, disgorgement, restitution. And there's concern that the Commission has been seeking money generally and not tying it very specifically to the legal authority to obtain that monetary judgment, and not really focusing on the extent of injury and the culpability of the defendants. We're not suggesting, the report doesn't suggest that money relief should be higher, that it should be lower, just that it should be considered within a more rigorous analytical framework.
Yeah, but you're saying, though, that it doesn't really require a change in the existing law, or
I don't
because
think
it sounds
in this,
to me like as there's a change in the philosophy of those who are serving, and or in the case of the Obama administration, who had more tendencies toward more of that type of regulation, that the language there that set this up is broad enough that it can be interpreted by the members. And but my question would be, to preclude this from happening again, wouldn't it be better? Isn't there something that can be done legislatively that would be correct? You might give some thought to that, and for the record, since my time will expire if I keep talking. Mr. McLeod, the enforcement actions by the FTC make headlines, but when the FTC is empowered with all of its other tools at their disposal to achieve its mission, preventing unfair competition in commerce, some of those tools include policy advocacy, business and consumer education, guiding research efforts, and convening experts to think through difficult issues. Now, would the increased use of these tools in lieu of enforcement action help protect consumers and ensure that small businesses and entrepreneurs are empowered to work with the FTC?
Senator, I think the answer to that question is an emphatic yes.
Are a lot of these not used, a lot of these tools that are out there?
They are not used as often as I think they could be and should be. The Commission over the years has been a very powerful force for advising and spreading knowledge about the benefits of sensible law enforcement and about the costs of law enforcement gone awry. And one of the important things the Commission has been able to accomplish over the years has been to achieve a consensus among policymakers, law enforcers, enforcement agencies as to an appropriate consumer-friendly approach to consumer protection. This is an economic issue, it's a legal issue, and it's something which I think the Commission could do in much more vigorous fashion than it has recently.
Yeah, I think so too. And well, my time's expired, but I'll have a question for the record on privacy that I'll submit at the appropriate time.